a suit and tie and get your hair cut way up high. Get yourself a lawyer, son. You're gonna need a real good one.
Thanks, Tex. We got one. It's Mr. David Whiting, and he's ready for you on 1300 222 774, dispensing some free legal advice, albeit at a distance this morning. David Whiting, good morning.
Good morning, Virginia.
Where are you?
Well, I think last time we decided that my secret location was in Queen Street, but I've moved from there.
Where have you moved to now?
Well, we've got basically everybody working from home.
Yep.
So we moved to the cloud from a computer system point of view probably 5 years ago. And in fact, everybody but one person in the office has all of the resources they need to work from home. So we had our first staff meeting yesterday using Zoom.
Yes,
and it went pretty well.
Zoom is getting a big workout at the moment. I'm just mentioning proprietary names today because, we have to be realistic about the services we're using. What have you learnt about working from home and having people out of the office that's good for the firm? And what have you learnt that's bad?
Well, I find that I have less distractions at home than I do at work. Mm-hmm. Less going and walking and engaging to other people. There are phone calls. So we've managed to get our phone system working across. So we're not using mobiles, we're using the office phone system. I found, so I'm more productive at work at home than I thought I would be. I suppose it's not being aware where everybody's up to. So we'll probably, instead of getting together in a formal sense once a week, we'll probably do it more often. Yeah, they're to me the real issues.
Yeah.
Some of us have had client meetings using video conferencing software. I found that the phone system sometimes clogs up because there's just too much data in the computer systems.
I called someone yesterday, and for the first time ever, I never heard this message, saying the area you are trying to connect to is congested at the moment. I thought, I've never heard that message, and I bet I'm going to hear a lot more of it. Hey, let's take some calls, 1300 222 774. Any quick paperwork to get through before we do that?
I had no homework, but I found a beautiful case in the United States where somebody in Illinois last week made an application for an immediate hearing because it involved some counterfeit unicorn drawings, and the judge...
I'm sorry, what?
Unicorn drawings. So there's an allegation that someone was selling copies of a particular drawing of a unicorn that belonged to somebody else.
Right.
And the judge's comments were... the filing calls to mind the sage words of a particular judge. About half of the practice of a decent lawyer is telling would-be clients they are damned fools and should stop. But then that finished with, the world is facing a real emergency, the plaintiff is not. The motion to reconsider the scheduling order is denied. So I just thought, what a clever judge.
I reckon we're going to hear a lot more of that from judges, if indeed courts are sitting. And we just heard that the Magistrates Court, I think it's about to halve, is that right, its caseload?
Yes, yeah, they're really doing things that really need to be dealt with urgently. VCAT has cancelled hearings till the 17th of April, and they're all non-urgent ones, and they're trying to do everything by phone. But then their website today tells us that there are congestion issues with Telstra and Optus, so phones can be a bit difficult at the moment.
Let's take some calls. 1300 222 774 is our number. Leonie has called in from Berwick. Good morning, Leonie.
Good morning. How are you,
well,
Virginia?
Thank you.
I'm just ringing up about my son. He was up in Hoddle Street. He started riding his push bike because he was, getting fines, and he just wanted to stop, so he thought he'd ride his bike. Anyway, he was on his way to his brother's, and his brother rang him on the phone and said, "How long will you be?" And he said, 10 minutes. And then the police pulled him over and said to him that he was texting, and then proceeded to give him a $497 ticket for talking or texting on the phone. Well, it's actually nearly $500. I can't believe. I didn't even know it was a thing, let alone...
Leonie, your son is a road user.
Yes.
If he's on the road, he has exactly the same rules as apply to motorcars and motorbikes.
Okay, because, see, I honestly, along with many of us, didn't even know that it was a thing with push bikes, and I do understand. But the point is the absurdity of the amount, like $500 for that, and they accused him of texting. He wasn't texting. He only said, "I'll be there in 10." That's what he did, and then
But he used the phone.
Yes, and but I mean, we're the only country in the world that does this. I mean,
I don't think that's true, Leonie. I think lots of countries do it. What we do is the law classifies your son as a road user. He's on the road. He has the same obligations as someone in a car.
So he's going to have to pay it then, Leonie?
He can go to court and argue that the fine is too high. He may get a sympathetic magistrate, but in this environment, I don't think he'll get what he wants.
What about with his
He can
license?
ask for. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Will it affect his licence? No.
Oh,
So it's just a fine. Good luck. I guess he won't be doing that again, huh, Leonie?
I don't think so. No.
I guess that's how the fine regime is supposed to work. It's a deterrent. And you certainly don't do it again. Marg has called in from Bendigo, and I suspect Marg has a problem that many of us are about to face with Easter. Hi, Marg.
How are you, Virginia?
Good, thanks.
Good morning to David. Yes, we'd booked a holiday to Japan. It's been quite some time. We haven't been able to get any sort of answer from the company, but last night they sent an email to say that we could still go ahead with a holiday if we wanted to, or they would give us a credit. We're just wondering, can you actually get your money back, or do you have to accept a credit?
Mark, how far away is the trip?
May the 10th.
Right, I'd sit a little while. At the moment, travel's not illegal or unlawful, and presumably I don't know if you're going to Japan whether there's a 14-day lockdown period when you get there. So I suppose where I'm at is at the moment you still have a choice.
Yeah,
to go.
They're offering the credit, when I say credit, we can book for a later date, but we're wanting to know, is there an option to actually get your money back?
Why would you not want to go at a later date?
Well, my friend, she's feeling a bit reluctant to do that, so we were just wanting to explore our options, really.
Well, but what if the later date was this time next year?
Well, yes, we're happy to think about that, but the other thing is we just want to know, is there the option of getting your money back or not? We just want to know all our options.
David,
really.
Can you require that the money be returned?
At the moment, Mark, for most people, well, no, because you're still able to go.
Okay. Yeah.
If there was a rule change in Japan or a rule change here, and now that they're postponing the Olympics, I would have thought you could expect a rule change in Japan fairly soon.
Yeah.
If the performance of the holiday becomes impossible, then you can have your money back. Yeah,
I think they've closed certain areas in Japan though as well, haven't they? So we're not going. We were travelling all over Japan, so that's limiting. We'll be on and off planes and trains, so.
Then your argument to the tour provider is you can't give me the holiday I agreed to get. I'd like to cancel. Can I have my money back, please?
Yeah.
So we can get our money back. That was the problem. We were wanting to know.
If it is impossible,
they were suggesting that no, but that's what I thought. If they can't offer the holiday that we got, that we should be able to get our money back. That was my understanding.
Absolutely. Yes.
They're saying that they're only going to give us a credit. Well, we just wanted to explore our options, really.
If they can't perform their obligations, then you can have your money back.
And if they refuse, what should Marg do then?
Then she has we know is this through a travel agent or directly through the company, Marg?
It's through the company. It's a fairly large company, yeah.
Hello, David, are you there?
Yeah, he's lost him.
Then you go to VCAT. You're asking for a refund.
Okay.
All right, good luck, Marg. The other option, of course, is just to wait until this whole thing is blown over and Japan will still be completely beautiful when you go this time, or if you were to go this time next year. Jennifer's called in with a tricky one. Jennifer, what have you been up to? Good morning.
Hi, Virginia. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thank you for providing the service that you are. Well, I went to my IGA last night with some cloth tape and some notices that I'd written up to just let the people in the community know that the 1.5 social distancing rule applies to all places, including the essential services, places like our IGA and our Coles, because...
And what did you do?
Well, I went down there this morning. They told me to come back this morning, and I did. I went there at 6:30, and I just marked 1.5 metres by 1.5 metres in a square at the service counter, and then I measured...
With tape?
Yeah, I took my measuring tape, I took cloth tape and a black marker. Well, actually, I had to buy one from them. They wouldn't provide me with one. And I took some chalk, and out the front of every apartment building I measured 1.5 metres with a bit of chalk and stuck my bit of tape and put, 1.5 metres applies to all essential services, including Coles and IGA. So I went there and, I go there every day, and these people are really, really lovely people that work there, and there's like everybody in all of our communities working in supermarkets have just been put through so much by some people.
Sure, but tell us what. So you marked this out on the street,
yeah,
did you? It was
on the street,
on the street
and
outside the
store.
AGA and inside the store.
Yes.
What you marked up their floor?
Yep, I marked out the floor for them to help them because nobody had done that.
Did they want you to?
Yeah, the guys that were there last night said I had permission to do it, and the guy that was there this morning, he said, I better call my manager. And I said, well, yeah, you can call your manager, but I'm still going to do it. It has to be done.
David, do you want to get in here?
Wow. I mean, Jennifer, and what's happened?
So they called the police. Prior to that, I had a member of the community, a man, swear at me, brush past me and tell me to F off. Most of the people that were there were thanking me and saying, thank you so much for this. I was pleasant to everybody. I didn't get in anyone's way.
Jennifer,
the police
I suppose,
attended.
Jennifer, from my point of view, this is I think social distancing, you're not there to police social distancing.
No, I'm
You're
not.
there to
We have to
observe
Let
social
David
We
talk.
have to stop the
Let
spread.
David talk.
Sorry, David.
So, I look at it on the basis that you're not there to police it, you're there to observe it. So I think if you... But you were...
Can I just say something? I wasn't trying to
policing it.
police it. I was trying to help them. They have enough to put up with.
I understand, but it's a question of not everybody wants help in the way that you might choose to deliver it.
Yes, I understand that, and I could accept that if I had not been given permission. I was given permission the night before, and the guy was just ringing to make sure that was okay with his boss. I said, okay, you go ahead.
But then permission was clearly withdrawn.
I know, but the thing is that what it gets worse because the police, came and asked me to leave, and I said, well, why don't you enforce the rule that's been handed down by the government that we're all supposed to be following? And they haven't even got sanitizer in there to clean the baskets.
But what happened? Just tell us what happened.
I was directed to leave, and then I was directed that I was not to go to Coles, that I was not to go inside Coles at all, either store, but I was permitted to put my notices up anywhere that I wanted to in public on the street. So then I put my notices on them.
Either, but all right.
I did, and then I came back to the IGA afterwards on my way back home, and IGA had taken down all of the notices that I'd put up, and they'd taken down the markings inside.
All right.
The store.
Now let's hear from David. Let's try and find
Jennifer,
out the situation.
I see you as a very concerned member of the public.
Extremely.
And you can bring these things to people's attention, but no one else in the world has an obligation to abide by your direction or suggestions.
Well, I'm prepared
and therein
to break the law
lies
to
the
do it
problem.
again.
So
You've got to
let it.
I'm going to bring this call to an end if you don't. You called in to hear from David, so let's hear from David.
Mm-hmm.
So my problem
David?
is that... What do you mean? I suppose the answer is you observe them rather than tell other people what to do.
And then do we report them to the police?
If you would like, but I think the police are going to be incredibly busy doing lots of other things and not just social distancing.
I know. Well, I didn't want them to be called to the IGA. But
I understand that.
We're
but
being
you're now
told by the
saying
government to report to the police when people are not following these rules, when people are not self-isolating, when people are not following the
I want you
distancing
to
rule.
distinguish, Jennifer, between self-isolating and social distancing.
Well, I just
You
use
are being asked to
self-isolating as another
self-isolate in
example.
very
Jennifer.
definite circumstances that relate to, in a sense, a real apprehension, as opposed to social distancing, which I accept is an important concern, but I don't think that it's quite the same. I understand what you're trying to do, but you're in a position where no one else has to follow the rules as you want them enforced.
Jennifer, can I just ask you, how are your anxiety levels at the moment, do you think?
Incredibly high because my mother has cancer.
I can hear it.
And I
can
have
hear
an
it.
8-month-old grandson that I'm late to babysit now. And we are spreading this virus. It is going to get worse.
Look, I
and
get it.
We're told to report these things
Completely,
to police.
but Jennifer, listen to me. Look after yourself. Don't go putting yourself in danger, going around walking through a supermarket and marking out lines. You're just exposing yourself. Stay home. Stay home. Everyone will do the best they can. Some people will get it wrong. Some people will flout the rules. Others will obey. Don't put this on yourself. Get yourself home. Have a shower when you get home if you've been out and about, and look after yourself and your family, okay?
Yeah. Well, can I just ask one thing? Can I just ask everyone to be kind to each other?
Absolutely.
And to please
But
follow the rules?
Jennifer, you be kind to yourself, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. I hope that helps. But look after yourself. It's totally understandable that everyone's anxiety levels are through the roof. Don't think you've got to take it on yourself. Wouldn't you agree, David, to get out there and police the world? That's another
absolutely.
level of responsibility we don't need.
Yeah, I think what people need to do is be measured by their own behaviour, not the behaviour they want to instil in others.
Yeah, absolutely right. Richard's called in from East St Kilda. Richard, good morning.
Sorry, good morning. I hope this isn't too pessimistic, but Mum has heaps of shares in property. If she was to die now, and she's an 85-year-old paraplegic with fair health,
Yep.
How long after the death do we have to dispose of all those assets and divide them up?
Oh, well, let's assume that the will is silent and I leave everything to my children. Then the expectation is that 99% of the work would be completed within 12 months unless the beneficiaries decided that they would delay.
Okay.
Does that help?
So if the 4 children sort of say, hey, this is the situation, let's
And
just
we've
hold
lots of
off on.
shares and the market will improve, so we'd like to hang on, then you can hang on. But what you might also consider doing is taking shares as part of your inheritance rather than the proceeds.
Okay, and does that need to be done at the will level, or can that just be done at...
No, that can be done by agreement between the beneficiaries.
All right, cool.
And
Thank
most
you. I won't
wills
waste
and the
it.
Trustee Act allow for the executor to appropriate assets to a person's share.
Thank you. I won't take up any more of your valuable time.
No worries. Thanks for calling in. I hope that was helpful. Loza is joining us now from Altona. Hi, Loza.
Hello there, good morning.
Good morning.
I've got a family court order that says 2 young grandchildren should stay with their father this weekend in a home that has 2 very elderly people living. Do we still have to are we still obliged for those children to go to their father under the family court law? Thank you.
What makes you think that the older people living with their father are we worried about getting something from them or giving something to them?
I think giving something to them.
That's the general concern, that younger people should be separated and not be seeing their grandparents at the moment because older Victorians, Australians and people really in general are at risk.
Yes, well, the father could get quite stroppy about that and say, well, I'm demanding to take my children.
Yep.
I wonder what stand we've got.
Loza, what we talked about last week was that I do think that a family court judge or a judge exercising jurisdiction under the Family Law Act would be very sympathetic to someone in your situation. Why? Both from the point of view of, well, I was looking at it from the point of view of children, because let's say that the children go to the non-custodial parent this week.
Yes.
And in that contact period, contact a coronavirus infection of some kind,
Yes.
who's then responsible for providing the care on a day-to-day basis to those children? Is it the person they contracted it when they were with, or is it the person who has the children all the time?
Yes.
So
Yes,
I
this
think
is the
that
issue.
what you need to do is try and see if there is some alternate that you can offer.
Right.
Now, whether it's more telephone contact, whether it's a video conferencing, or whether you could trade it for something later, I don't know.
Okay.
And I know that if you were to express your concerns, then you're going to get a more sympathetic hearing. But I really can't tell what the end answer is, because it depends upon all of the circumstances, not just the one line.
Well, the father could get abusive. He could send the police over to say, well, my children haven't been released to me this weekend.
Yeah, this is a really tricky
You're not
one.
going to get a police issue unless there have been previous police issues.
Okay.
And the issue will be, can you guarantee me a safe environment for my children? And that's where the discussion has to start. But you need to tell him why, and you need to tell him why not.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Bye.
I hope this goes well. I'm hearing a lot of these stories, particularly around custody issues in relation to isolation and coronavirus. Very, very tricky.
Okay.
Try and,
Thank you.
Yeah, good on you. Take care, Loza. That's a really hard one. Mark is in Cheltenham. Mark, what's your question? Good morning.
Good morning, David and Virginia. My question's regarding not-for-profit organisation and committee meetings and passing motions. We're in a very dire position at the moment because we don't pay any staff. It's all volunteer staff, and therefore there's no government concessions. We have a private rental lease, so we're up for a heap of money, and we've got no members. Well, our members are going to be dropping off like dead flies now because they can get nothing out of the club whilst we can't do anything. Yes. So when if we go to pass any motions, do our committee meetings have to be in person, or are we allowed to use electronic media?
Are you an incorporated association or a company limited by guarantee?
We're an incorporated association.
Yeah, I think what you need to do, and do you have a copy of your constitution?
Yeah, we just use the government
model rules.
Model rules.
Well,
yes.
the model. It's my recollection, but check anyway, that the model rules allow you to conduct your meetings electronically if you wish to.
Right. Okay.
Right. So if you have a, one of the video conferencing apps that you get, then you should be able to conduct your meeting that way.
Okay then. Right. We hadn't found
so
it
it's
in
to
there,
me.
We'll look again.
Well, have a look in the model rules. How many members have you got?
Well, look, somewhere around 150.
Your other option, and do you want a meeting of the members or the meeting of the board?
Well, okay, so we have a committee of 12, so we had a meeting last week and this sort of topic arose and was pretty quickly said, no, we can't do that, we have to be here in person. We also have our annual general meeting is due to come up in about a month and a half's time, and it's a question whether or not we actually have to convene a larger gathering for more serious purposes.
Well, the model rules, while you're obliged to hold your annual general meeting within 5 months of the end of your financial year, you're actually able to apply for an extension.
Okay.
All right. So, and that I think in this environment will be readily given.
Yep.
If you wanted to, you could have your directors' meetings by circular resolution. So a couple of you get on the phone, agree what the wording's to be, you sign them, and you get other people to send you an email that says the same thing.
Okay.
I can tell you I've got, one of the advantages in working from home is that I can look at the computer while I'm talking to you. Can I say that Rule 35 of the model rules allows for the use of technology in the conduct of your meetings?
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
All right, good luck.
Now, thank you.
And so how would you like to share that bit of advice there, David?
Okay. This is a situation where an association needs to meet, but they can't get together at the same place.
But you said there were some rules that might be of use?
The model rules every incorporated association in Victoria has adopted the model rules, and they accept those who have deliberately chosen something slightly different. And the model rules allow the use of technology for directors' meetings and for member meetings.
Okay.
And the use of technology is in a situation where the participant can hear what's going on and contribute to the meeting.
And if someone looks up
So
online
telephone and video.
The model rules for incorporated associations, they'll find those?
Oh yeah, not a problem. In fact, you search Model Rules Victoria and there they are.
Okay, fantastic. David, great job this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
David Whiting, your Melbourne solicitor who dispenses free legal advice. Lots of comments coming in about Jennifer, who, as she told you, was having a very, very hard time. And let's just take a second to reflect on the fact that we all are, and that you'll know people who are starting to behave a little strangely, or starting to be very insistent about this or that, or suddenly want things a certain way. That's actually a way that we try and control our anxiety sometimes. So just a moment to pause and take a breath and to say, are you okay? I know you can't give a hug, but there are virtual hugs that you can provide, and just an ear to listen to would be useful in this situation. It's extremely upsetting for everyone.